And welcome back to Columbus, Nebraska, Pawnee Park's Memorial Stadium. There is the home team, Columbus Scotus Shamrocks, leading number 1 Aquinas Catholic in Class C2 by a score of 7-6. We're minutes away from kickoff in this second half. Quickly going to go over some stats. Scotus 41 yards rushing in that first half to go along with 45 passing, so very balanced attack in that first half by the Shamrocks. As for Aquinas, they did all their damage on the ground, 167 rushing yards. A lot of that had to do with that 46-yard run to end the half by Napier, also 17 passing yards. Napier is the leading rusher of this game with 96 yards on the occasion, already with 2 more quarters yet to play. And we are officially underway now with the third quarter as Jake Boss boots it into the end zone, touchback for the Monarchs.
And it looks like we might have a penalty of some sort on the field. They did call that one dead right away. Let's see what's going on here.
Looks like the Shamrocks are marching back the tee 5 more yards, probably an offsides, which again, Grant, we talked about it going into the half. That was probably going to be the main thing Linder harped on for a penalty-ridden first half by his squad, and then they start off and get a penalty again.
Yeah, and you can't be happy if you're Linder, and I'm sure he's not. Scotus, just, easy things to avoid, offsides, penalties. You need to just focus up. But sometimes when you're doing these kickoff plays, you really get absorbed, and you're just ready to haul downfield and try and get a tackle.
So ball now placed at the Scotus 35 after the offsides penalty, and again, Boss going to have another go at it here. Booms it anyways, does not matter. The special teams game is on point, Grant, I believe, if I would take a word from you tonight.
I think, and I will very much appreciate the use of it. I always like a fellow on-point user because that was on-point usage. Now, Boss, a very strong leg, and we saw it earlier. He just was a little less accurate on that field goal attempt earlier in the game, but a very strong foot. Like you said, these soccer players on this team do know how to kick that ball, and they can kick it far.
And a lot of instant replays being shown throughout this game. The instant replays brought to you by Bill's Tire Outlet. Shop there today and get a $100 rebate on select Hankook tires. See those guys for details. And there's the defense by the Scotus Shamrocks, giving up little if no yards on that first carry by the Monarchs.
And just a herd of Scotus Shamrock defenders getting in the backfield there. And Aquinas looking at a 2nd and 11, it appears. That was 72. Darren Wrinkle in on that tackle.
So loss of 1 on the play brings up 2nd and 11 for the Monarchs. Man in motion, McGuire takes the snap, hands it off up the middle. Nothing doing again.
Yeah, it's Marcus Dotson sticking Lane Napier right in the middle of the hole. They did gain about 2 to 3 yards on that, so they will be looking at about a 3rd and 8. But Scotus defense doing a very good job so far in these first 2 plays. We'll see if they can continue that throughout the rest of the series for a 3 and out.
So here the home crowd chanting defense for the Shamrocks, urging them on this 3rd and 9. We'll see if it has any effect. Shamrocks showing blitz. And the runner's brought down at the 25-yard line, which will not be enough for a first down.
Well, they were able to move that, like you said, about 3 more yards, but they will be looking at about a 4 and 5. I would assume a punting situation as they do line up for a punt here. Cole Harrington alongside Jackson Kump will get back there to return. Kump will run back up to the line very quickly.
Aquinas having a little bit of trouble with the punting game in that first half. Not on this occasion. A low one. Harrington muffs it, but nicely picks up the ball again, runs into his own player, and then cleaned up by the Monarch special teams.
And Boss knows that was an unfortunate mistake there. Harrington was on a roll there, but him and Boss unfortunately collided, preventing him from gaining any more yards. They will start this one. We'll take a look at this one again. Not a huge punt. Harrington is going to fumble that one right there. He's going to pick it back up, makes a nice little move around the defenders, but runs right into Jake Boss as he's trying to cut back. That's number 70, Matt Kindler, alongside Mitch White, I believe, in on the tackle.
So
Colin Hain, excuse me.
First and 10 from the 42-yard lines where the Shamrocks will start things. Pelster in motion. He's going to try to get around to the outside. Gain of 2.
He was able to get around McGuire there, but he was met by Kronda there on the outside. Not much of a gain there on that first down attempt. They did get about 2 yards, so they look at a 2nd and 8.
Talked about, Grant, this rivalry game between these two schools that date back close to 50 years. And really, Aquinas has owned this series, 9-3 since 2003. The Shamrocks did get 2 wins in 07-08. And then again, their last win was last year. The lone blemish we talked about earlier on the state championship team from last year for the Monarchs as Harrington takes a run up the left side for close to a first down.
And Scotus really becoming a statewide power here in more recent years, as we talked about a lot. The senior class kind of blossomed into the group that they are. But a lot of talent on this team that Coach Linder inherited, but a very good job in the past couple years and in making these rivalry matchups even more interesting.
A couple other fun facts you may not know about this rivalry. Mimic actually is a Scotus graduate of 75, the head coach for Aquinas Catholic, and then they have an offensive coordinator in Pellin on the Scotus team that was an Aquinas grad, as Prismus there has an incomplete pass.
And that's something I did not know indeed. So you learn something new every day, and so it's got to make that even more fun. That's the right grammar there for Coach Mimic, who's coming in and coaching against his former team. But like you said, Aquinas just a very good job on defense there to shut that play down as Prismus attempted to throw the ball for what he could, but just unable to connect on that pass downfield. And they will look at a 4th and 2 here. We'll see what they come out with. And they will punt.
In confirmation for the Shamrocks, number 5.
Ben Siri, the one back to be doing the kicking duties. 2 deep for the Monarchs. Spenceri, another high booming kick. Bounces near the 10. And Kumpf was trying to get there, not quite able to do it. Goes in for a touchback.
Very close. Spenceri doing a great job so far of punting this game.
And he's not one of those Scotus soccer players that's on this football team. Surprising. Maybe he'll go out for the squad this spring.
I wouldn't be surprised if they recruit him. He's doing a good job. Unfortunately for them, unless you're the goalie position, you don't get to do much punting on the soccer field. But he does got the leg.
So 1st and 10 from the 20 for the Monarchs. 9 minutes to go in the third. Hand off again to Pellin. Goes up the middle. Again, a short game.
Pellin, a nice game so far. Been having to run for some of those harder yards. Napier obviously backing the majority of these rushing yards this game, but Pellin and Kronda both doing a good job of, or at least their fair share of rushing in this game.
Officially a gain of 1 for Pellin. Just 26 yards on the evening up until this point. 2nd and 9. Ball up the middle again for a short gain. The Scotus defense really not giving up much when you run at their linebackers in line. To say if you're going to have to beat us tonight, it's going to have to be to the outside.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure what Linder said in there, but the play calling has been very on point with what Aquinas has been throwing at them. So that big Scotus line, and like you said, you see number 72, Darren Wrinkle up there alongside number 77, Duncan Paxoza. The big guys just up front.
So here's a rare passing opportunity for the Monarchs, unable to convert. Looked like Spenceri may have got a hand on that one, but unable to bring it in was Pellin.
Pellin open there for a small second at least, but the diving catch unable to bring it in. And those are tough in his defense to bring down. That was just coming off the fingertips. I'm not sure if that one was catchable.
And Harrington, the lone back, to receive this punt. And some penetration. Boss nearly got a mid on it. It's a high one, not a lot of distance, and bounces back towards the 50-yard line where the Shamrocks will start their next drive.
Cole Harrington, in my mind, smartly letting that one going out of bounds. And Scotus in good field position to attack here, as I believe they will be setting that up right near the 50-yard line, if not maybe the 49 here. Scotus just barely on the edge, and they will set it up on the 50. Pushing into Aquinas territory, but like I said, we need to credit the Aquinas defense. They've done a very nice job tonight as they force a punt in this last series and hope to do so again.
So 50 yards to go for the Shamrocks. Prismus under center. Hands the ball off to Pelster again, trying to get his speed to the outside. Gets a gain of 6. Again, Pelster's one of those players, if he just gets any bit of open room, he could make you pay for it, and the Monarch defense very aware of that.
And Pelster is definitely a shorter back, but has very strong legs and really keeps his legs pumping and moving as he's running through all those defenders. So you really need to wrap up and stay with him if you're going to bring him down, because he does run hard, like you said, and that's the reason why he was a key player this game.
And actually, with 104 yards in week 1, only 16 thus far, the Monarch defense is doing their job and holding the explosive player to not a lot. Again, that can change at any moment. And here's Jake Boss with a carry, looking to get to the outside and gets across the 40.
That was number 18 tripping him up there for the Aquinas defense.
Number 16, James Kobza for the Monarchs.
Must be James Kobza, number 16 actually, excuse me, tripping him up on there. Boss unable to break free to get any farther downfield. Heads up play by Kobza to at least get the shoestring tackle.
Talked to these coaches both about keys to the game, and one of them that Linder said was, we have to play small ball, execute. Obviously, you always want to do that, but he said this game I could see coming down to one big explosive play in Grant with a 1-point ball game. It could happen for either team, and there's close to one with Marcus Dodson pounding up the middle, but back to my point, especially when you get into the second half in a close game like that, and people get tired, it's literally one play in inches that could make the difference.
And you said it earlier, how interchangeable are Dotson and Boss in these situations. You see Boss the play before running downhill, smacking guys and getting those extra yards, and the next play it's off to Dotson, who's going to run downhill right up the middle and smack a couple guys and get that first down.
Dodson's second carry has 15 yards on the night.
You see a little laundry on the field.
See what the officials decide on. Coach Linder looking as well with curious eyes, and here's it's going against the Shamrocks.
And they're going to call that one against the Shamrocks as they knock that back for about 5 yards, I believe.
Illegal substitution, the call, Grant.
5-yard penalty will move the ball back to the Aquinas 33-yard line.
I wasn't evidently paying attention quite close enough, but that'll happen if you break the huddle and switch out players.
So 1st and 15 now from the 33. Ball given back to Boss. He's having some success in this second half and gets close to another first down, gaining back those 5 yards and more from that penalty.
Yeah, great job by Boss to break through there and just follow the backs and the heels of his linemen as he was able to pound through for a couple extra yards, and they're going to get down there to the 19-yard line, I believe, as they press further and further into red zone territory now to try and score some points.
2nd down and 1 for Scotus.
14-yard gain on that play. 5:40 remaining in this third quarter. Ball again up the middle, room to run, and brought in down this time again, Marcus Dodson.
Once again, you said it earlier. You said these two guys, how interchangeable are they? We've seen it, Boss to Dodson to Boss to Dodson, and they've just moved this team downfield. Check the replay. Quick handoff to Dodson, who's going to break three, cut back, lower the shoulder, and break through right down to the 6-yard line. And that replay brought to you by Bill's Tire.
13 yards on that one for Dodson. 1st and goal to go from the 6 for the Shamrocks.
That'll be McGuire alongside 51 Mitch White in on the stop as they are able to get the tackle and keep them posted up there on the 6-yard line.
No gain on the play will bring up a 2nd and goal.
So no gain. 5 minutes to go in the third officially.
That's kind of where I see you at, the power back, full back type position. Might have to talk to Linder to get you in there.
No, Grant. Don't let this 164.5 pounds fool you. Muscle density is on point. Cole Harrington, though, wrapped up in the backfield there. He's more of a guy that's my size. A lot faster than me, though, as well.
I don't know,
I believe
that's
Vincere.
arguable. But Noah Pellin on the tackle there, and he's able to hold on to hold on to Cole Harrington's feet and bringing him back about 4 yards. But I would say, I don't know. I'd like to see the 40-yard dash. I think you would give him a run for his money here.
Back in my prime, Grant. Back in my prime. I don't know. I think I cracked 5 seconds maybe.
I'd like to argue
As a
your
senior.
prime's still ahead of you. I think where are we? It's pretty intense news coverage throughout the week. We do the workouts.
It's true, and here's Prismus with a pass to the corner. Dalton Taylor! And it is waved off. The officials say no. Dalton Taylor disagrees. Oh my goodness, thought we had a touchdown there for the Shamrocks.
Let's see if we can get a look at this one more time. This back cameras. Dalton Taylor just diving and thinking he's got that catch. But unfortunate for the Shamrocks, as they thought they had another 6 points on the board, and we'll check into that later as Cole Harrington steps back to try and kick this one through.
.27-yard field goal attempt by Harrington is up and good, and the soccer player does it again. His second field goal of the season, and 10-6 now. Cole Harrington with the 3 points. Grant, we're going to take a look at that touchdown that was waved off or called back and see if it was the right call. Your initial thoughts, Grant? I know we're a little bit farther away to see, and the referees have that better vantage point.
Yeah, you know, for a second I thought that was a touchdown, but he must not have got his feet in there as we see Prismus step back, and he's going to air this one out for Taylor to grab, and he holds on to that, but oh, it looks like he fumbled the ball there down, and the ref did see that, and Taylor maybe doing a little acting to try and get him to change his mind there, but it did look like from this vantage point that he may have fumbled that ball as he hit the ground, and I think that's what the ref was seeing. But a great effort by Taylor to get up there and try to bring that one down on the back edge of that end zone. A nice spot by Brady Prismus to try and get that one in there, but also a nice job by Aquinas to at least make enough effort to break that one up and prevent the touchdown, only allowing Scotus to get 3 points.
Actually had a Scotus fan come up and confer with us, and knowing that we have the video replay technology, and asking what our thoughts were after seeing the replay on that catch, and we had to give him the nod. We agreed with the referees on that call and said it was no touchdown.
Yeah, for a second I thought he was asking if the field goal was good with his hand mimicking, but he was looking for the touchdown answer, and like we just said, I think he did fumble that as Boss kicks this one down on the ground. We do see a flag, a possible another false start. Boss may be happy with that one as and that was a false start call. Boss another chance to kick this one, and not sure if they were going for the squib there or Boss just didn't quite connect with that.
Procedure against the Shamrocks. Move the ball back to the 35-yard line.
And Boss will step back to kick this one again as they move back for that false start call. And as we've seen before, Boss, the capabilities to kick it into the end zone from this distance.
So 3:57 after that field goal, and again, for the second time this half, Shamrocks kicking it from their own 35. There is the boot. It's a low one, and again gets to the touchback, so the Monarchs will take it from the 20.
Aquinas will take over first and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
So again, Grant, we talked about it. It's a 4-point deficit now. That missed missed extra point at the end of the half very much still could play a part in this contest for the Monarchs.
Absolutely. Aquinas will need to get down here and score a touchdown as they pop the incomplete pass over the top, I believe, intended for Lane Napier.
Trying to go with the play action for the first time tonight, unable to convert though.
We have seen him pass, I believe, about 2 or 3 times so far this game. One of those an interception. Each team with an interception so far. Back-to-back nonetheless. But Aquinas trying to pop over the pass, just over top, unable to connect, and they will come back out here, and I assume with a run.
It's a safe bet. 2nd and 10, 3:52 to go. And there is the pitch to Napier. Napier nearly had the room to the outside, but wrapped up by Cole Harrington, also tripped up on the play by Tanner Spencieri.
And I believe we have a cramp situation here with Napier, as his teammate came in there in no time. I believe that's Kyle Ruth. And that is Kyle Ruth. I wonder if we can't take a look at that again. I believe he did cramp up as they're stretching that out. And correction, that's number 66, Brandon Svoboda. He was in there in seconds to try and help his teammate out, but I believe we do have a cramp as they're trying to stretch him out there, and the players will get a quick drink. Something that's kind of hard to avoid. We saw it last night in the Columbus High, Norfolk High game. A lot of players were cramping up, but in this heat and this type of weather, he will walk off there, thankfully. But in this heat, no matter how much fluids you drink, it is hard to avoid that cramping.
There you see the Aquinas Monarchs and the sideline. Something we'll be monitoring while Napier limps over there on his own power. Again, always good to see, like you said, that they are able to walk under their own power. Makes you think it is just a minor cramp. 3:43 to go. 3rd and 9 for the Monarchs, as they're down 4 currently and trying to catch up and potentially take a lead. McGuire takes the snap, pitches it to Pellin, tries to get to the outside again, though. The Scotus defense, they've been tearing up that backfield this entire 3rd quarter, and they do it again.
And Darren Rankle in on the big play, getting to that backfield and making a tackle, and you can see he is hyped up as the Monarchs are faced with a 4th and long, about 4th and 12 now, I believe. A great job by that Scotus line to get in there, and the Monarchs forced to punt this one away.
So 3 back now, Kump, Spencieri, and Harrington for the Shamrocks, as Harrington takes it at the own 45-yard line. He has some real estate ahead of him. And lowers his shoulder and gets back to the Aquinas 45.
And that'll be number 16, James Kobza on the tackle. Kobza very athletic, very good at getting around to the edge and making sure he got in on that. Keeping Cole Harrington from busting that for even longer. Harrington, one of those players last game, was kind of the main feature. A fantastic game against Boone Central Newman Grove. And we thought he had a stinger a little bit earlier, but he does appear to be doing a lot better now.
So 1st and 10 from the 44 officially. Handoff to Boss, and he gets stuffed right at the line. Lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage on that one.
And they must have whistled that one down because he was still moving. For looks like a gain of 0 yards. It will be 2nd down and 10. Boss, a very big back. And we keep talking about him and Dotson, how interchangeable they are. Boss heading out of the field and Dotson moving in.
Boss with 25 yards on the night on 4 carries. Now Dotson, as you mentioned, the one in the backfield. Aquinas showing blitz. They give it to Dotson. He powers forward and again gets close to another 1st down. Gain of 8. Dotson making the most of his opportunities. He has 4 carries for 30 yards.
Dotson, yeah, very good job tonight by Dotson. Find that hole and just burst through and explode and try and get that extra yardage. He has been lowering the shoulder on any of those plays, but a great job of breaking through. And we are on social media, as we talked about. Be sure to like us on Facebook at Columbus News Team and follow us on Twitter at Columbus NE News. And that's where you can find the latest in sports for live links and the Coaches Show, which airs every Thursday.
Yes, it does. 3rd and 3 now. 1:27 to go, and now Spencieri's in motion. The double reverse to Pelster. We've seen this work before last week. Pelster still keeps his legs churning in enough for a 1st down. Grant, we saw that against Boone Central Newman Grove. That was a touchdown play against the Cardinals, and Aquinas Catholic doing their scouting report.
And Pelster getting up a little bit slowly, kind of limping there on that leg. He's waving off it. He appears to be good. We'll see him come around with that double handoff like you said. We saw that last week, but look at him just continue to run and break through those tackles. It looks like he might be dealing with a little bit of some sore hamstring the way he's limping off the field there. Possibly a hip injury, but he is definitely a little sore.
Pelster wasn't 100% coming into that first week against the Cardinals. Didn't start because he had a knocked up leg, and there is Boss with another carry, close to 6 on that one. So Interesting to see if Pelster maybe re-aggravated that. Again, we aren't doctors, we don't pretend to be, but we'll be monitoring that and see what the situation is and if Pelster comes back in.
Boss getting up a little bit slow too. He's limping off as Dotson makes his way into the game, and he looks to be running pretty well off the field, but was getting up a little bit slower. But Dotson will line up and appear to be the lone back.
2nd and 7. Spin series trying to get the hand up, but Prismus fumbles it. Does a great job of falling on it. Looked like there was a little miscommunication either between the handoff or the snap, and that's going to be a big loss for Scotus.
Yeah, 3rd down and extremely long for the Scotus team as they face about a 16 to 17 yard deficit. I'll have to count that up, but they have a long ways to go as they step back to the 43-yard line.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Your score, Scotus 10, Aquinas 6.
We will head into the 4th quarter here.
Yep. 4th quarter is on its way, 10-6. We have a good one. Just 4-point lead for the Shamrocks against David City Aquinas. We'll be back with all the 4th quarter action right after this.
Would you like to watch this game from above the crowd? When it comes to finding you a new home, the team at Total Realty have a game plan that'll put you above the crowd. Whether you're buying or selling, they will answer your questions and provide an expert offense to put you in the lead during the whole process. The Total Realty team members are real people living in your same community. They have the same concerns as you do, and one might just live in your own neighborhood. Your RE/MAX team members are the hometown experts with the world of experience. They don't just want to sell you homes, they want to make you happy. At Total Realty today, log on to ColumbusTotalRealty.com or see their full list of homes from the Columbus app, available on iPhone and Android devices. Would you like to watch this game from above the crowd? When it comes to finding you a new home, the team at Total Realty have a game plan that'll put you above the crowd. Whether you're buying or selling, they will answer your questions and provide an expert offense to put you in the lead during the whole process. The Total Realty team members are real people living in your same community. They have the same concerns as you do, and one might just live in your own neighborhood. Your RE/MAX team members are the hometown experts with the world of experience. They don't just want to sell you homes, they want to make you happy. At Total Realty today, log on to ColumbusTotalRealty.com or see their full list of homes from the Columbus app, available on iPhone and Android devices. Would you like to watch this game from above the crowd? When it comes to finding you a new home, the team at Total Realty have a game plan that'll put you above the crowd. Whether you're buying or selling, they will answer your questions and provide an expert offense to put you in the lead during the whole process. The Total Realty team members are real people living in your same community. They have the same concerns as you do, and one might just live in your own neighborhood.
Welcome back here to Pawnee Parks Memorial Stadium. There you see Dalton Taylor, the leading receiver for Scotus, being his ankle tended to. As we enter this 4th quarter now, Bailey Pelster currently with the carry, and it's tackled out near the right sideline, and still going to bring up 4th and 6.
Dalton Taylor, you got a guy you don't want to see come out of the game. He's done a great job so far on that receiving end and getting up and getting balls, but like we said before, in this weather, it is hard to prevent some of those cramps, even if you are staying hydrated.
Again, looking more at what the training staff appears to be doing, wrapping that right ankle of Dalton Taylor. Has 4 receptions, including a 26-yard touchdown strike. So 4th and 15, though, now, and the Shamrocks look to punt. Spenceri sends a high booming ball that hits at the 10-yard line, and Shamrocks trying to down it near the end zone, and let's see what the officials mark it. Do they mark it at the 1? And again, it looks like great special teams play by Scotus.
Another fantastic punt and a great job by those Scotus defenders to keep that ball out of the end zone. As you see, his body did start to fall in the end zone, but he kept that ball free and clear, and the other Scotus, we'll take a look at that one again if we can, but Scotus doing a great job of getting that ball downfield in these special teams play, and that's kind of been a vital part of this game so far, is the special teams play.
And that play by River Liebig, we're going to give him the credit for the one downing it at the 1-yard line. But again, when you have a high school team that can do special teams like that, not once but twice now the Shamrocks have downed the Aquinas Monarchs at their 1-yard line. That plays a big part into things, and 99 yards to go for 6 for the Monarchs.
The Monarchs, last time they were in this situation, thanks to the help of Napier and McGuire, were able to get out. Let's see. And Noah Pellin unable to get too far out of the end zone. He did gain about a yard to half a yard there.
And Grant, also on that same note, 3rd quarter sponsor brought to you by Bose West. Stop by there after the game to grab the best burgers in Columbus. It's making me hungry just thinking about it.
I mean, we are hot up here in this booth. This booth is not exactly cool, and just thinking about going to Bo's for a burger and a nice drink sounds pretty fantastic right now. Be sure to check out Bo's West. They do have a great outdoor setting where you can enjoy with the whole family. You got TVs. You can watch a little sports, just like eventually some Columbus sports as well, as we work on News Channel Nebraska coming up here in October.
Ball still at the 1-yard line, brings up 2nd and 10. Officials blow their whistles, though, as Coach Mimic wants to take things and look it over with a timeout.
As you can see here, the Scotus fans showing out in full force tonight, both David Aquinas and Scotus fans. Coming out here, be sure to follow us on Twitter. We talked about it earlier, but social media, Columbus NE News, as you can see.
I bet you some of those guys are on their phones right now checking out Twitter.
I guarantee they are posting some updates on this thriving matchup right now, this rivalry. They've always tried to rehydrate, but Twitter is a great outlet to get local news and sports, along Facebook. I know we're on there for work, trying to make sure everybody gets the latest in Columbus news and the Platte Valley news. So be sure to check us out there. You can see other sports talk like the Coaches Show and also the GO Show, just weekly shows talking about Columbus sports with highlights and even more.
There you see the Spirit Squad for the Shamrocks, wanting to cheer the fans and their team to victory. Again, this is a big-time rival between two schools that know a lot about one another. They see each other every year, even though they're in different classes. Monarchs in Class C2, although they had been in C1 at one point and clashed with the Shamrocks several times during that stint. And nearly a safety as the Shamrocks getting into the backfield. Trickery with the play-action pass, a risky move by the Monarchs. And almost paid for it.
And Tyler Vavrina on the end of that, the receiving end of that incomplete pass. And it looks like we have another cramped situation down there on the edge of the field. Let's see if we can see who that is. But an unfortunate situation, as we keep talking about. This heat is just something that's hard to battle. That would be number 77, Duncan Paxoza. And he's going to walk off the field under his own esteem. But we may see some more taped ankles as they try to prevent any further cramping.
Dalton Taylor, we mentioned seeing him on the bench, is back in his safety spot. Good news for the Shamrocks.
3rd down and 10 for Aquinas.
So 3rd and 10, and you just fall forward on this one, Grant. You're on your own end zone, and they fake the handoff, go up the middle, and oh my goodness, that could have been a big one there. Pellin gets out to the 19-yard line, and he had one tackle to break, Grant, and he was going to go for 99 yards.
Just couldn't get quite past there. That is number 7 down there on the field with what appears to be a hurt ankle.
Anthony Cush, the injured Shamrock.
Anthony Cush, the injured player.
From the 17-yard line.
And back to game play. 1st and 10, 10:40 to go, and another carry up the middle for the Monarchs. Short gain, if any. And you just see it right now on both teams, Grant. Heads are hanging low and not jumping around as nimbly as they were in that first half. And that's what happens in a rivalry game. You're beating up on each other all game, and now it's 4th quarter time, and it finds out how you separate the men from the boys, as they say.
And you do need to separate the men from the boys, and Dotson and Voss definitely been out of this group, but you can tell they're even tired and exhausted from this as they line up for another one.
So 2nd and 10 now. Pitch goes to the outside and running, trying to get around the defense and not able to do so. Again on the carry is Kobza.
Kobza with a hard run, but unable to get too far as they will look at a 3rd and about 7 or 8 here. 3rd and 8.
He's out to the 19-yard line. It will be 3rd down and 7 for.
And you see the wear and tear on both the offense and defense for the Monarchs and the Shamrocks as they get into this game late into the 4th quarter.
John Lavelle, another safety in for the Shamrocks, currently alongside Dalton Taylor. There's that little double reverse. Nothing doing, though, for Connor Cranda. And you hear the cheers from the crowd as the Monarchs are going to be forced to punt.
And Carson Fuscher in there, not falling for it, alongside Darren Rankle, who's been in a lot of these plays as well, but great job to a play that we've seen a couple times so far this night, but a great job not falling for that trickery for the Shamrocks and getting the tackle and forcing the Monarchs back into a punting situation.
Again, a little different formation on the punting end. Spread out with Harrington, Kumpf, and Spenceri back. And that's going to go to Harrington. It's a low one. Fields it again, muffs it at the 42, picks it up. And gets wrapped up. Great defensive effort there and special teams play by the Monarchs, as Harrington has nowhere to go.
Number 87, Brandon Darrow on the tackle, and they are
And
going
a
to throw
flag
a flag.
there.
We'll see who that is on. As a little after the play, unsportsmanlike conduct of some sort.
I can't help but wonder if something was said or the officials believe something was said they didn't like hearing.
I think they may be calling this back on Scotus. We will see here. Yep, unsportsmanlike conduct on Scotus there.
Conduct was called against the Shamrocks.
And unnecessary for Coach Linder. Not happy about that because that is just unnecessary yardage they are losing. Linder out on the field here.
So Coach Linder now looking at the referee and asking him what exactly the call was.
And Linder a little confused, not sure, but he seems to be confirming with the ref. Not happy with how that turned out.
32-yard line. The Shamrocks will take over first and 10.
Take a look at this one again. Look at the run play here. That is not the play we're looking at, but that was Bailey Pelster with a hard run. Still a nice play.
So 8:37 to go. Shamrocks still up 10-6. And Bailey Pelster, we just saw him on the replays. Now seeing him in real time and tackled by a gang of Monarchs after a short gain.
Very nice job by Pelster to cut back. Eventually tackled there by Lane Napier. About 4 yards. About 2 or 3 yards downfield there. And the Shamrocks go for a 2nd and 8.
So 2nd and 8 upcoming. 8:09 again. Shamrocks looking to eat up some clock now in this fourth quarter. And trying to hold on to this 4-point lead and increase it. Spenceri now on the end around. Spenceri room to run. He's going to be close to another first down as he's tackled at the 43-yard line.
Nice job by Spenceri finding that hole and cutting up, and they are going to get the first down and fresh set of downs, making up for some of that lost yardage they got on that unsportsmanlike conduct. And like we talked about earlier, kind of uncharacteristic tonight. We'll take a look at this again. Bill's tire. Spenceri comes around the edge. Great job blocking as Spenceri cuts up. Looks like Carson Fuchsia kind of blocked the tackler into him, but he was able to get a first down, so that's really all that matters. But Scotus a little uncharacteristic. A couple more penalties we've seen tonight than we saw against Boone Central Newman Grove.
Spenceri's second carry of the night for 14 yards total. 1st and 10 from the 43. Here comes Harrington on the opposite play end around. He gets tackled after a gain of 1.
And Matt Kindler in there on the tackle for Aquinas.
Again, both these defenses have pretty much done their scouting report. The offense for Aquinas that put up 55 against Hartington Cedar Catholic, and Scotus put up 31 against Boone Central Newman Grove, but not a lot doing on either end. Just 10-6 right now, and only that one big run by Napier, that 46-yarder. It's really the only play that's been broken as a timeout's taken now by the Shamrocks.
As we said before, Boone Central Newman Grove and Hartington Cedar Catholic, both very competitive, very good teams. But these two forces, and you can see it tonight, they're both playing very hard and how tired they are. They are very talented, very well-executed teams, but like you said, very good offensive powers of that. So these defenses are doing a great job tonight of halting either side.
So with this timeout, the Shamrocks have 2 left, and same for the Monarchs. 6:56 to play. Have to think the timeouts will play a factor coming down the line, as the game's currently a 1-score ball game. And pretty much, Grant, what you'd expect from a rivalry. A game that was only separated by 3 points last year, and both teams bringing back virtually a vast majority of their players. The Shamrocks returning 18 starters, 15 for the Monarchs. Both teams that have aspirations of making deep runs into the playoffs again this year. Couldn't ask for much more of a contest.
And with these two teams being in separate classes, this is a game not only just to score a victory, but for pride itself in these clashes. And Scotus doing a great job of coming out here and able to step up thanks to the special teams. They've been able to take the lead, and although they are winning by 4 points, a couple kicked field goals would put either a tie or Aquinas in the lead.
So 2nd and 9 now, 6:56 to go. Prismus gives the handoff to Boss, and Boss not a lot there again. Aquinas wrapping him up. You see in on that action was Mitch White among others. And even though it's late in the game, they're still fired up.
And you really have to, because if one of these teams decides to take a play off, they will pay, because both of these teams will execute for the most part until the end. So you got to make sure your players, even though it is a tight game and very tiresome, you got to make sure your players continue to execute.
So now 3rd and 7. Big down for the Shamrocks. Spenceri goes in motion. Spenceri gives the handoff to Pelster up the middle. He has some room this time and squirms down to the 40-yard line. That is a gain of 15.
And you said it earlier, Brandon, explosive plays are bound to happen with these teams. And as we've seen right there, Bailey Pelster, our player of the game, we'll see come around and hands it off up the middle to Pelster, and he breaks a couple tackles, takes one to the high thigh. But he gets down there, and Kronda able to hold on. But Pelster with the first down run and the explosive play. And that was, of course, brought to you by Bill's Tire.
Big conversion on 3rd and 7. Now 6 minutes and counting. A great chance for the Scotus Shamrocks to eat up some more clock. But again, here comes the laundry.
We're going to have a false start, I would guess. And we'll see what they call here. And another penalty on these Scotus Shamrocks, like we continue to say, or at least I continue to say, very uncharacteristic of what we saw this first week, but, you know, that could be partially to this heat and how tired these players are and how much of a battle this is, but a lot of penalties on that Shamrock offense and defense have kind of been holding them back this game.
You know, obviously a rivalry game, Grant. Players trying to play maybe a little bit harder or, you know, make it that little extra push, something not uncharacteristic to see in a rivalry game, although credit the Monarchs. They have, to their credit, not have nearly as much penalty flags as another one flies. And again, the same call.
Yeah, another false start on this Scotus offense, back-to-back. And just moving it back, putting them in a difficult position. You know, they were doing such a great job of moving downfield, and now they are faced with a 1st and 20. Coach Lender over there does not look very pleased with the fact that they've jumped off sides 2 times in a row.
So 1st and 20 now. The clock's still running. 5:23 now, 1st and 20 from the 15. Boss the lone back behind Prismus. Pelster in motion, goes up the middle to Boss. Boss a gain of 4.
Putting a slight dent in this 20 yards they need to gain to get a first down. It will be 2nd and about 16.
Now Marcus Dodson comes in from the substitutes bench, along with Dalton Taylor. Something very important, something that plays very much to Scotus' advantage. They have athletes that can rotate in and out. Tyler Linder said that's one thing he loves about this group of guys he has, and that can play an important role right in a time right now, late in a game, in a rivalry game, with only 4 points separating the teams. Prismus drops back to pass. He has pressure from behind him, and he's going to roll out to the right side. He's still going and gets pushed out of bounds, and the fans want a late hit. Coaching staff, for the most part, seems to agree that it wasn't. It looked bad from up here, but the referee's much closer than we were.
Prism is just a great job of what immediately looked like a sack to put him back. We'll take a look at this again. He drops back. Somewhere on the backside, that coverage breaks down, and he will break free and get in the open field and bring them to about 3rd and 8. So making a big dent. You know, 3rd and 8 is not exactly an ideal situation you want to be in, but compared to 1st and 20, it's not too bad. And that replay, of course, brought to you by Bill's Tire.
4:28. Boss in the backfield. Fakes the handoff to Spenceri. Prismus gonna go for it all, searching for Kumpf and can't find him. throws it into double coverage, and that's going to bring up 4th and 8.
And is this, it might be a situation of
And looks like,
2
again, Grant.
cramps.
We have a couple of cramps on the play.
That was number 24, Nolan Helga, alongside a couple of guys down on the field, and we'll see if we can find out who these guys are, so we can see their numbers. But an unfortunate situation.
I believe Shamrocks is Kumpf, the intended receiver. Still, like you said, can't tell who the Aquinas player is.
I think that might be Connor Cronda in the backfield there, but hard to tell at this point. There it is, indeed Connor Cronda. They are both able to get up and limp off field with what appear to be cramps, and just relentless this game with this heat. These guys just can't hydrate enough to try and prevent these cramps, and these guys just go down after these intense plays. Cronda will get on the sideline and lay back down again as they continue to work that out of the calf.
You know, Grant, I feel their pain. There's no breeze up here in this press box.
It's not.
We do have some water, but, you know, if we were moving around at all, I feel like even I might have a cramp coming on myself.
I think we might need like an airboat or some type of mechanism with that large of an industrial-sized fan to make this even somewhat of a livable conditions up here, because it is, like you said, it is very warm up in this enclosed box.
But we aren't complaining. We get to call sports live for you. We're glad to bring it, and we have a great game. 4th and 8, so a punt by the Shamrocks. Spenceri again trying to pin the Monarchs deep and gets them inside the 9 with a fair catch there by the Monarchs.
Colts are there on the fair catch. They will come out and try to make an offensive move here as the Monarchs creep deeper into this fourth quarter. There we do see Jackson Kumpf continuing to get his calf worked out there by the Scotus trainer, Rick Hughes. Try to work that calf out there. Unfortunate situation. They get those bottles with a little Gatorade and some extra salt in there sometimes too to try and get those muscles right, but
so 1st and 10 and 91 yards to go for the Monarchs. Just over 4 minutes to do it. And here comes a big move right here, breaking free, and a touchdown-saving tackle by Cole Harrington. As, oh my goodness, Noah Pellin saw 6 in his eyes, and now he's shaken up.
And just continually, we'll take a look at this again, and we saw this play, they faked that handoff underneath because Pellin saw the guy coming through, and he just works upfield. And thanks for the Scotus Shamrocks, they got to be thanking Cole Harrington on getting that potentially game-saving tackle if they're able to hold off the Monarchs. But a great call by the Aquinas Monarchs and about a 30-yard gain. And it appears he's got double calf cramps. We can see some more players come down there alongside number 77, Duncan Paxoza, who's having cramps once again. And they might need to hire a couple extra people to work out all these calves the way this is going. If anybody out here is watching the game, you're a little bored, you can come out and help stretch out some of these players. These guys are cramping up nonstop, it appears. And Pellin able to walk off the field under his own power, as we've seen a lot of the other players do, but I assume once he gets off the sideline, they will have him work out those cramps a little bit more.
So with that carry, though, 73 yards for Pellin. You have Napier over 100 and Pellin with 73. Again, very similar teams at Monarchs with multiple rushers, and then you have Pelster and Boss and Harrington on the Shamrock side. A lot of offensive weapons for both of these teams. The Monarchs give the pitch to the outside and looking to get around the corner, and nearing another first down on that play is Cranda.
Harrington able to push Cranda out of bounds as he burst around the edge there and did gain a nice couple chunky yards. Actually, they did get about 9 yards on that play by Cranda. Carson Fuchsia was getting out there on the edge, but unable to catch up to Cranda as he burst around that corner there at 2nd and 1 here for the Aquinas Monarchs.
Clock is stopped currently, 3:52 to go though. The Monarchs needing to make their move and make it soon. Second and 1. Fakes the pitch this time, gives it up the middle. And going forward for another first down, and then some's James Kobza.
Great job by Kobza to get up there and get upfield to get that first down. And see a couple of those Scotus guys. We'll take a look at this again, and the fake pitch and the handoff to Kobza underneath as he works his way upfield and eventually meets Evan Shohan, who gets the tackle up top. And Kobza off the field too with what appears to be leg cramps as well, calf cramps. Just been all over tonight.
Officially at the 3:30 mark to go in this contest. Man in motion, fakes the pitch. Shohan is in the middle, flushes out McGuire, who gets tackled from behind after a 6-yard gain.
Credit to McGuire on carrying out that fake, because that fake threw the defender off enough to get them up for a 9-yard gain, or well, excuse me, a 7-yard gain as they face 2nd and 3 here, 2nd and 2.
That was backdoor pressure by Carson Fuchsia, the defensive lineman, making that tackle on that play. So 2nd and 2, there goes Napier up the middle, ball pops out. There's a pile, and the Shamrocks say they have it. Scotus ball.
And just as I was about to say, we'll take a look at that one again, but the way Aquinas was moving the ball and then just a trip up there as he gives that ball to Lane up the middle. Lane Napier pops loose.
Look at that
Shamrocks
scoop.
Fall on that one. I believe number 34, Evan Shohan, might have eventually been the last one to fall on top of that, but just a heap of them down there. And that replay brought to you by Bill's Tire, but I was just about to comment on how well this Aquinas offense was doing, and Scotus moving the ball here once again late in this fourth quarter as clock continues to tick down.
Marcus Dodson, the man who got his helmet on the ball, forcing that fumble. A big play by the linebacker, and now the Shamrocks just need to eat up clock as they give it to Boss. 2:46 to go and 2 timeouts for either team. The clock very much going to be a factor the rest of the way.
That was Boss on the carry there, as you said, for a couple of yards, and they'll look to go at 6 and 8 here as two teams take a quick break.
Monarchs with the timeout, using up their 2nd of 3. And Grant, we have a ColumbusNewsTeam.com app, another way that you can get all of our content to you right at your fingertips on your mobile device, Google Play Store or the App Store for those Android or iPhone users. We have you both covered. Check out our free app today.
Be sure to get on there for the latest news as well, and that partnered with our Facebook and Twitter outlets are a great way to keep up with area news.
So 2:47. The Monarchs after this have 1 timeout remaining. And it won't be over, but it will definitely be a big blow for Aquinas should the Shamrocks get a first down.
The Shamrocks will need at least 1, potentially 2 first downs if they are going to close out this game and run this clock off. They'll also have to force Aquinas on one of these to use one of their timeouts. Their last timeout.
So here we go, 2nd and 8, 2:47. Spensieri goes in motion, gets the ball, going to the outside, has room to run. He gets a first down, and then some. Tackled near the 50-yard line, and a fresh set of downs for the Shamrocks.
And a great job by Spensieri getting around the edge there, and they got that first down so quick they will need to get another one if they're going to close this clock out. But if they score there, it'll be in just as good a hands. Spensieri will take a look at this one more time thanks to Bill's Tires. Spensieri coming around the edge there, cutting up, following his blockers. Just a fantastic job. And if it wasn't for number 24, Nolan Helga, that might have been 6 points.
2:20 to go. 1st and 10 for the Shamrocks from their own 49. And they're going to take all the time they can. Hand the ball off again to Spenceri, who's looking to find room along that outside and gets tackled. And that's a little bit of an error by the Shamrocks as Spenceri goes out of bounds and giving the Aquinas a free chance to stop the clock.
And credit Mitch White on that tackle for essentially guiding Spenceri out of bounds there, or at least helping him. And Bosk making an attempt to come back for the block did also knock him out of bounds, but they will go here for a second and long, second and 6.
Stand corrected, Grant. The clock is running, so officials apparently said he wasn't pushed out of bounds, so 1:35 and counting, 2nd and 5, one more first down would most definitely seal things here for Scotus. Dodson the lone back. Letting the clock run down as far as possible. And now Pelster in motion. He gets it. Runs up the middle and his hit won't get a first down. Will bring up 3rd and 2. And that's where the Aquinas Monarchs will take their final timeout.
Scotus possibly able to seal this game off if they just get a first down. They are sitting. They will have 2 chances here as they sit at 3rd and 2, which you'd like to believe that means their chances are pretty good, but this Aquinas defense is very good as well, so cannot count them out quite yet.
I'm gonna plug this in real quick.
So 1:09 to go. And the Scotus student section and their fans believe that their team's going to win. And they most definitely will if they just gain 2 more yards. It's a situation here where, you know, the Monarchs are going to be pressing to make a play at the defensive line, potentially try to draw them off sides. It's not a new concept to try to do that in situations like this.
It'll be interesting to see how they come out here, and if you're Aquinas, you got to make sure, even if you don't think they are going to do that, but there is a chance, like you said, so you got to make sure your players know to just sit in there and make sure you don't give up just a free first down. Look for Pelster potentially as Dotson's in the backfield, and Pelster does line up on that outside, and Cole Harrington closer to the camera.
Spenceri goes in motion. There's the pitch to Spenceri. He gets hit in the backfield. A huge play by the Monarch defense, as that's a loss of 3.
Spenceri down on the play, potentially another calf cramp, but not sure. He is holding his knee a little bit. We will see what happens.
That's going to stop the clock.
Yeah, hopefully just a calf cramp here, as he is gripping that knee with both hands. We will see. He did get twisted up there as they went down. Spenceri and Brooke Hughes down there, the trainer, feeling around that knee.
See both teams on their knees now, hoping that's not indicating it's a more serious injury.
Spenceri, a very talented player, and like you said, one of their many featured backs, so you just hope. You never want anybody to get injured, but you just hope this isn't as bad as potentially looks as they continue to examine him down there. More help coming onto the field to take a look at Tanner.
Taking a look at the scope for both of these teams while we just take this break and Spenceri's being looked at. Class C1, Columbus Scotus, no secret, they're number 2, Aquinas, number 1 in C1, or C2. And they have the schedules looking ahead of them. Scotus, they've already faced 2 ranked opponents, and they have 3 more on the way currently. Pierce, number 7, at Bishop Neumann, number 4, and at Wahoo, number 5. So this, while it's a very tough test, isn't the last one for the Shamrocks. And as for Aquinas, they have Lutheran High Northeast right around next week, number 8, and then a matchup at Archbishop Bergen, number 9. So the point I guess I'm trying to make, Grant, is just C1 and C2 football around the area. It's good, and it's going to be a battle every single week.
Absolutely is, and we will see Spenceri is getting up, and they are helping him off the field there as he is staying off that left leg. And right now, very tender as they try to get him off the field, and hopefully not as serious as it looks, but he definitely looks like he is in some pain. tough loss for Scotus if he is indeed hurt very bad, and he needs to take a break here. So we'll keep tabs on that. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, but at this time does look like he's in quite a bit of pain, and that knee potentially is the issue.
You hear the crowd now clapping for Spenceri as he makes his way off the field. They were quiet, had their breaths held, wanting to see how their player was doing, and he's going to be addressed on the sidelines. Can't think he's going to be coming back for this game. Just 58 seconds to go, but he's made a great contribution already tonight. 3 carries for 5, 9, and 16 yards, totaling 30 on the evening, as well as that great punt, that 73-yard boom earlier in the game. And he's going to be looked at on the trainer's table.
And you just hate to see a guy, especially with the talent that Spenceri has, go down like this and hurt a knee. I've seen so many guys and so many teammates that have fallen victim to knee injuries, and it's really just a devastating deal. So we'll hope that it's not as bad as it looks and just a little initial pain if that is the case. As he gets examined down there, you do see him as they lay him back on the table there to clear him off, and they will check out that knee and kind of feel that back and forth to get an initial idea maybe what the issue is.
And so while he was injured, the Shamrocks were ready to hold a snap, and they ran the play clock all the way down as far as it could before taking a timeout. So currently where we stand, we're 34 seconds remaining. Clock is stopped at 4th and 5, and the Shamrocks are going to punt to the Monarchs, where they will have 30-ish some odd seconds to march down the field and try to score for the win, currently being down 4.
They'll come off the side a little more here to take a little bit more of a break. And
so Grant, your coach Ron Mimic, he's probably been in this situation more than 1 or 2 times at his now 26th year at the helm. What do you think he draws up? A team that doesn't pass a lot, they mainly run, but with only 30 seconds, they're going to have to do that.
I think you got to blitz. I think you got to make sure you're maybe running a cover 2 or a cover 3, so you do have some guys back there, because you know they're not going to throw a ton of guys downfield, but you need to have somewhere they're back in coverage. But you do need to bring that pressure, because with not a lot of time left, you need to potentially force a fumble or an error for the Scotus offense.
Well, 4th and 5, and the Shamrocks not in a punt formation. Harrington rolls out there, trying to take up as much time as possible, and throws it just like a punt, and smart heads-up play there as Aquinas Catholic knocks the ball down, meaning they'll get the ball back at the original line of scrimmage.
Jackson Kump limping there again, I assume by a cramp, but yes, like you said, very heads-up play there by number 24, Nolan Helgoth. We've called his name quite a bit tonight, but you got to know, a lot of times those defenders will get back there, they see interception, and they'll just pick that one out of the air. But like you said, heads-up play is they get back on the line here for potentially a quick snap and a downfield toss.
So 26 seconds remaining in regulation. Scotus leading 10-6. The Monarchs are going to be forced to throw with no timeouts. There's a quick throw to Pellin, and he's going to get out of bounds to stop the clock at the 41-yard line. 21 seconds to go.
See that replay quick. They will run their other defenders downfield and just knock open Nolan Pellin for that catch. And what they did, very smart play, very interesting route. We'll see if they do that again. Send those other receivers downfield just as decoys.
4 wide, to the left, and McGuire going for it all, throwing up. There's Dalton Taylor in the mix, bounces off a Scotus defender and goes to the ground. 13 seconds remaining, and Grant, when you see a ball pop up like that, you never know what's going to happen.
Either side of the ball, whether you're on the defense or the offense, you're scared when that ball's floating around in the air like that, because there's just 8 guys, 4 from each side on there trying to go up for that, and Scotus unable to bring down the interception, giving Aquinas another shot at a potential deep ball as the clock ticks down.
So 13 seconds. Monarchs going to have to catch it if they do in the field to play. They need to get out of bounds with no timeouts. Here we go again. 12 seconds to go. There's a quick pass by Pellin, and actually heads-up play not to catch that, because if he would have, that would have been the game. Clock would have ran out.
9 seconds remaining in this game. 3rd and long, but really just 3rd and 40 yards as these Monarchs need to get in the end zone as this game is potentially almost over.
And the fans here on their feet for the Shamrocks in support. 9 seconds to go. McGuire again drops back. He throws it up high, going for it all. Batted by Dalton Taylor twice. 1 second remaining, though. And the Monarchs on 4th and 10 are going to get one final crack at things. Dalton Taylor, though, doing exactly what you want in that situation, just making sure no one has a chance to catch it. But there is one final play.
Yes, like you said, very heads-up play by Taylor to get in there and make sure that ball hits the ground. Aquinas, you got to assume one more time at this deep ball attempt as they line up 4 on the right side.
Harrington deep along with Dalton Taylor. There's again a big throw by McGuire. Up the sideline, ball is caught and dropped. And that is the ball game. The Shamrocks move on to 2-0. They take down Aquinas Catholic 10-6.
And C1 prevails in this C1-C2 powerhouse matchup between rival Catholic schools just down the road from each other. David City, unfortunately, a short trip home, but it's going to seem longer after a tough loss to Scotus. But very valiant efforts by both teams.
10-6 the score. Both touchdowns coming in that first half. Dalton Taylor, the one catching that 26-yard touchdown, doing the scoring for Shamrocks. And then that Cole Harrington field goal, which ultimately gave the Shamrocks the win. They were tested there down the line at the end, but ultimately move on to 2-0. The Monarchs drop to 1-1.
Scotus next week will face Central City, which will be no easy task in itself, as Central City very strong at essentially an opposite team to what Scotus is, and they like to air the ball out quite a bit, but for now they will be happy just to go home with a victory after this tough rivalry matchup. Aquinas will indeed bounce back, as they are a very good team, and just a fantastic night of football to watch.
If the Monarchs have another tough test right away with number 8 Lutheran High Northeast, they will host them coming up in week 3. So no rest for the wicked, as they say. The Shamrocks, though, meeting near the 25-yard line, and they are pleased with that result. Head coach Tyler Linder has to feel pretty swell in his second year as the head coach. 2-0 currently against the rival Monarchs, and Ron Mimick, you best believe they'll be back and very well could be a presence in the Class C2 finals as they look to defend their title in their respective class.
Yeah, Rod Mimick, he's going to be hitting the tape, looking to see what they can do to improve, and you best believe, like you said, they will come out against Lutheran High Northeast this next week and be a very strong team. So look for them to be good the rest of the year, I would assume. And Scotus Central Catholic just continuing to build and play up to the hype that they've built this season with this senior class that we continue to talk about. They come through and celebrate with style as they look to move on this 2-0 record.
And in just a few moments' time, we'll be hearing from our Columbus Community Hospital player of the game. As always, there's more than one candidate, and it's a very scientific figure and formula that we use to decide who will be that marquee player we hear from, as well as head coach Tyler Linder.
In case you're wondering, we did take science class in college and high school, so we know some form of scientific method.
Calculus is involved.
Calculus is indeed involved. Math is subject I did not take in college, but I did take in high school. Calculus itself, college level calculus.
There you go. Did you do the dual credit?
I would not say how well I did, but I did get the college credit for it.
Smart man.
I'd like to thank you, some of my classmates, indeed, for helping me along in that class. But in fact, one of our cameramen, Chris Shank, took that class with me. He's down in the field. And thanks to all of our camera guys, and of course Aaron Trout directing alongside Lane, and Kate Bowling, our Souder reporter. Great job by the rest of the staff.
Totaling up these numbers right now for the Shamrocks as we wait to hear from the Columbus Community Hospital player of the game. You had Spencer again, who went out injured. Hopefully he'll be okay for his own sake. He had 30 yards on 3 carries. Then you have Cole Harrington, just 2 carries, but made the most of them with 29 yards. Bailey Pelster had the most for the Shamrocks with 12. Had 55 yards on the night. Jake Boss also getting near the 40-yard mark on his 6 carries. As for the Aquinas Monarchs, though, the leading rusher was Napier. He cracked the 100-yard mark with 112, and then very nearly catching him was Pellin with 73 yards as well. So no shortage of talent. It's something we've talked about all game. Both of these teams we expect to see come November.
Yeah, very nice job on that rushing game by David City Aquinas. as they do fall in a tough matchup here by 4 points. But those Aquinas backs, very impressive. Look forward to seeing how they do perform throughout the rest of the year. Because, like you said, no shortage of talent on either side of the ball.
And Grant, we talked math and algorithms and how we decide who the Columbus Community Hospital player of the game will be. Let's also talk history. For both of these schools, Columbus Scotus, a team that has serious aspirations of doing damage in Class C1, has 2 championships in '84 and '93 when they were Class B. As for Aquinas Catholic, they are a mainstay for Class C2. They have 7 currently Class C1 championships, along with 3 runners-up back in 1980, 1993, 1994, 1997, and most recently 2011, 12, and 14. The Monarchs have taken home the top prize in Class C1, and I'm not done yet, Grant. I'm still doing my history spiel. These teams have met a couple times in the playoffs. 1994, they met. Aquinas got the better of Scotus. Actually, all 3 times these two teams have met, Aquinas has come out on top when they were in C1 together. If anyone's still following me, 94, 97, and 2004 is when these teams clashed in the postseason. Aquinas always coming out on top, but not tonight, even though this isn't the postseason.
Well, just unreal how good Aquinas has been in that postseason and consistently going there, like you said. Just an unreal culture out there at David City Aquinas. They do a great job under Ron Mimic of performing week in and week out, and a tough loss here against a really good opponent in Scotus Shamrocks, who look to add that 3rd title to that history right there. They're talking about those history books. They're looking to reprint those with a 3rd title this year.
And there you see the Scotus Shamrocks putting the helmets up, getting their post-game speech finally wrapped up. We can't blame head coach Tyler Linder and company. They got to be jazzed about the win, but we want to hear from him as well as our star player of the game from Columbus Community Hospital. And I know the anticipation's been killing you, and the good news is they are making their way over to our sideline reporter now as well as our camera operator, so we'll be hearing from them shortly. Grant, we've talked about it all game, but any final thoughts before we hear from these two?
Excited to see how these guys perform out through the rest of the season. I think like anybody else is, the great job on both sides in the rushing game, and we'll see what Coach Linder and our mysterious player of the game is. Very deserving player in my mind, and according to the science and the math, absolutely is. So we'll go down to Kate Bowling now with our Coach Linder and our Columbus Community Hospital player of the game.
Wow, Coach, huge win for you. 2-0, huge rival. The bleachers were filled. What are we most excited about tonight's win?
Sorry, I'm losing my voice, so I've got nothing left. The thing I'm proud about most, is not just my coaching staff, but if my voice is indicative of the way that our kids played tonight, we left it all out there. We gave everything that we had, and I'm really, really impressed and very happy to come away with a victory over a phenomenal program like David City Aquinas. They're extremely well coached. Their kids battled hard, and I think our kids rose up, and I give all the credit in the world to my coaches. They put these kids in a great position to be successful, and these kids are just warriors. They battled it out for 48 minutes, and again, we were fortunate to come out on top.
And I know the energy in the stadium on the sidelines was huge. What was your favorite part about being surrounded in tonight's game?
I think just turning around at different moments in the game and just seeing a community of people come together to support these young men. It was something that I'll never forget, and I'm really happy that we had a great crowd and we came out with a victory. We gave them a good show tonight.
Great, Coach. Great win. Thanks so much. And now I'm here with the player of the game, number 12, Dalton Taylor. Now tell me, what were your intentions coming into this game, facing such a huge rival for you guys?
Oh, gosh. Coaches said that we were going to change the game plan a little bit, so it was a lot of new stuff that I put in. And I guess we just came here and we wanted to win a ball game, do anything it takes.
Now, what are you most looking forward to next week's game, and how are you going to prepare for it?
A lot of the same, honestly. Hope we get a little bit of a break on Monday because I'm sure we're all dead tired. But basically all the same, work hard all week, and that's about it.
Great. Thank you very much, Dalton.
Right,
number 12, player of the game, Dalton Taylor. And there you have it here on the sidelines. I'm Kate Bowling. Back to Brandon Grant up in the booth.
Thank you, Kate. Dalton Taylor, the Columbus Community Hospital player of the game, 3 receptions, 46 yards, and his big one, the lone touchdown for the Shamrocks, a 26-yard strike from Prismus that ultimately boosted his team to the 10-6 win. I'm Brandon Axman with the call as the Shamrocks move on to 2-0, 10-6. Grant Otten in the booth with me. Kate Bowling on the sidelines, as Grant alluded to, Aaron Trout, Lane Alamang, and all our camera operators, producer, directors do a great job, and we're glad to bring this live action to you. Be sure to catch us next week for our live game of the week on Friday, where Columbus High will be hosting Lincoln Northeast. Again, I'm Brandon Axford. That does things here for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you next time.